fuck. It's 10 o'clock. Holy shit. Holy shit. It's 10 fucking o'clock. Good evening, everyone. Good evening. Hello, 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 hello. Yeah, I better turn that fucking shit off. The all right, yeah, yeah. The stream just kicked off over on YouTube, and do you know what? It would have been a bit more polite if YouTube just wouldn't do that and just because I have to monitor the chat over on YouTube as well. But of course, the stream just kicked off on its own without any user interaction. I mean, it's handy at times, you know. I will admit that it is handy at times. The streams just kick off like when you're just waiting, because I do notice sometimes people do be waiting. You know, you could post a show at 12 o'clock in the afternoon. It mightn't be ready to go live, but you could see five people waiting there all day. It's like, but I get it. I get it. But anyway, so I have a little bit of a problem tonight. And hey, we're back on fucking YouTube. Holy crap. What the fuck happened? What the fuck happened to YouTube? You know? Obviously they're suffering from a brain fart or something. I don't know what the fuck's going on with YouTube. They've let us mad cunts back on. What the fuck is going on? So anyway, I have a complicated task here tonight, right? Because I have to monitor three chat locations now tonight. So we are live over on Rumble, we are live on YouTube, and we are also live on our own platform. And Mascara Steak is over on our own platform there on racontoursnews.com or racontoursnews.co.uk colon 8080, which is our very, very own streaming address. And over the coming few weeks, I'm going to be trying to familiarize everybody and with those particular URLs, and we'll get used to using them again. So just for the crew that are over on raconteursnews.com, okay, I want to let you know that we are also live here on YouTube as well at the moment. The little fuckers have let us back in. Oh, I see Mascara's in both sides. I've got three chats open here at the moment. I'll just give you a look at my screen, bro. Why not? I might as well just give you a look at my screen. Let you see what I'm trying to follow here. It's like it's absolutely nuts. So let's do a screenshot. So I have the site over here, raconteursnews.com. You can see the chat area there. It's alive and kicking. We have James in there and Mascara is in there. I have to chat here. I have to chat here from YouTube. I've popped it out so that I can try and follow along on the chat. So I'll say hello to Spanish while I'm here. How you doing, Spanish bro? Hope you're not too fucking drunk just yet. We've got Stephen Owens, Mia Media Mogul, and do we have anybody else in? No, we're not. We've got a light crew tonight. We have a light crew tonight. And here we've got the Rumble chat all alone, all alone. The Rumble chat, and there's nothing happening in it. So I know I have that set. I can actually make that really, really small because not much was happening there last week either. So I can make that really small and just drag it there to one side so that I can actually see if anything updates on it. And poor old Spanish has got double vision and that. Yeah. It's like that, bro. I've got double vision just trying to keep up with all these different fucking chats here, man. It's not easy. So let's go back to just single cam mode, right? I have the Rumble chat up here on the cam mode. So oh shit! Something happened on fucking Rumble. Onesie2, how you doing? How you Onesie? Owensy, how you doing, bro? I got a novel shock there. I wasn't expecting anything to happen on Rumble. And next thing you know, sure enough, it kicks off on fucking Rumble. You up out of that? You up out of that? So I have to say, I'm really, really impressed with the Rumble The Rumble channel has come on quite well. We have 43 subscribers over there on Rumble at the moment. Um, I remember back before Jay died, we only had just the bare minimum. We had just about 25 or 26 followers there, and 4629044 is in the chat there on Rumble. And rather than sort of like let every, I don't know what to do tonight because we have Rumble going, we have YouTube going, and we have our own service going. So um, it's hard to know what to do. I'm tempted to tell YouTube just to piss off tonight, but do you know what? It's kind of nice to be back on. So just maybe I could just keep it sanitized for tonight, and we'll just make the most of it until I can figure out what the fuck we're gonna do with it. Because as unhappy as I am with the whole fucking thing, at least it keeps the community together. So I'd best be on my best behavior, really, with it. Like, I'll do my fucking best. I'll do my best. And is Dinny in the chat? Dinny is in the chat over on raconteursnews.com. Colon 8080. How you doing, Dinny, bro? Fair play, fair play. So we're hammering it out here on 3 different locations. Yeah, yeah. Mascara is saying Dinny is over in Raccoons. I think the Raccoons are on all the Raccoons platforms tonight. I'm getting it hard to keep up because we've got several people who are on 2 and 3 different sites. So it's like so just to let the Rumble crew know that we are going live on YouTube tonight, and I promise I'm going to try not to fuck it up, right? So just in case anybody wants to pop over and say hello to the crew, because it's been weeks since anybody had a chance to properly connect here on the channel, and it's Castor Bum, avoid the void. And we got Mr. Grumby, blessed are the cheesemakers and all the dairy product makers. Greetings, Mr. Gumby and Gastar Burn. Oh, it's freaking cool, man, really cool. So I keep on forgetting everybody who's on the Rumble chat can be seen on, because I have your chat basically going live over here at the on the mainstream. So I'm sure you know that. Like, you can see that. Obviously, you can see that. Like, So, um, so what a fucking week, man! What a week! And I don't know. It's going to take me. It's going to take me a while just to settle and just come to terms with what's happened. Like, because before about 2 hours ago, I just decided to just take a bit of a get, because I do this every few days just to see if YouTube still has us blocked. And next thing you know, I was able to initiate a fucking live stream on YouTube. So I spent the last hour or two just pondering what the fuck am I going to do with that? Should I just leave it alone, or should we just fucking go and give it a go? So we're going to give it a go anyway. See what we'll do with the fucking thing. If I need to check out a little bit later on, what might happen is that I might check out a little bit later on and say, fuck YouTube. There's 1 or 2 stories that I might want to cover, and I'm not sure how those stories will go down on the YouTube. So I might say at some point in the evening, I'm fucking off over to a few other locations, that I'm actually streaming on at the moment. So we're on Rumble, and we're on our own platform over on raconteursnews.com, and also raconteursnews.com or .co.uk. And but it's a little tricky reaching the actual streaming site. But if you look down below in the description box if you're on YouTube, and you will see those links. I've posted those links to those different platforms. You will see the Rumble live streaming link, so you can watch it on Rumble. If I do decide to fuck off from YouTube in a little while, that's what I'll do. I'll fuck off from YouTube, and because there might be 1 or 2 stories. I can't remember what I've got on the story list for tonight, basically, but there might be 1 or 2 stories that I might not even attempt to cover on YouTube. And so get so sick of fucking talking in code and in the hidden hand communication. I'm just sick of it. It's just so fucking complicated. We'll say hello to Gonzo Johnny as well. How you doing, Gonzo Johnny? And we've got Lynn the Lurker has joined the chat over on raconteursnews.com. How are you doing, Lynn? And we got Dark Kilby and we got Zealous Spence. But the interesting thing about the chat over on raconteursnews.com, you just get assigned a dodgy name when you join, you know. So um, just so that people on the just so people over on the raconteursnews.com site know that basically what I'll do is I'll switch here quickly to screenshot mode. I'll get a screen capture of this just so that you can see what you have to do. So if you're not familiar with the platform and you're wondering why the fuck is my name Zealous Spence, for example, or why the fuck am I called Dazzling Wozniak, or if you want to change your name, just come up here to the top right hand corner, just click on that little arrow there, and you get an option to change username. And there you will get a chance to, you can set your username set to whatever you like. You know, you can be the, who cares what, you can be anybody you want to be. So if you are, you can just keep your own anonymous, you can keep your own name as because everybody gets assigned a random name when you join over on the raconteursnews.com. So you just get a random name because obviously the system doesn't know who the fuck you are, and the system doesn't care, but it'll give you a random name, so you can change your name to whatever you want, and you're not limited. And just because you change your name once doesn't mean you can't change it again. So, but be aware, the system does record when somebody changes identity, and it will inform the chat that, say, Dark Kilby is now known as Zealous Spence or whatever. So it's not like people won't notice that you'll be changing identity. Like those kind of things will be noticed. So, but it's really, really cool. How are you doing, Robert? Are you well? And we have Lynn Anderson. How are you, Lynn? I wonder, is that Lynn? That's it. That must be our Lynn. Um, so just so that we're all aware, we are broadcasting again on YouTube tonight. I don't know for how long. I don't even know if I'm going to spend the whole show broadcasting on YouTube, but we'll see. We'll see. I'm in two minds. Some of the topics I have to cover tonight, they're not going to be so. They're not. They're not the type of topics which will trigger the algorithms really. Apart from one or two of them, and I think maybe for one or two of the topics, I may just switch YouTube off. Maybe I'll leave that for later on. I'll leave that for later on. He's not quite. What are we talking about? He's not quite Edward Snowden, is he? I hope. Are you talking about me? Since I hope not. I hope I'm not like Edward Snowden. The last thing I want to be is a traitor to my country. So, the last thing I want to be thinking about is having to book a flight to fucking Russia and beg Putin to fucking put me up in a hotel somewhere. No, I don't want to be. I don't want to be doing that anyway. So, hey Kendo, how you doing, bro? We got Kendo in the house and Asintha. And we've got a lull from Asintha. I assume you approve of my Snowden comments. As I say, I don't have a lot of time for Snowden or Assange anymore. There was a time I used to think that they were the perfect journalists and they come to do good and save the world, but I no longer think that way. No longer. So I hope you've all been having a good week. It's been pretty mental here, I have to say. It's been really weather-wise. The weather has just been atrocious, absolutely atrocious. I have never, ever seen so much water in all my life. It's just been mental amounts of water. It's like the amount of water that's been dumped here over the last week. It's just ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous. Like, it's not that I hadn't seen it before, but just never in such large amounts and so consistently, right? So consistently, like, when it rains, it's almost like if you believe that in such a thing as a god, like you can imagine God having a big giant bucket the size of a country and just going and dumping a whole bucket of water down, and a bucket like it takes an hour to drain onto a country. It's like nuts, like. And so that's what it's been like here this last week. So I've been hiding from the rain most of the time. Basically, that's what I've been doing. I've sent it over on the record. He said, Jimmy, encrypt your hard drive immediately. The Russians are coming. Yeah, I've come to the conclusion it's pointless even encrypting the drive, right? Because um, when you have companies like Israel and who are designing all the chips, and they're inserting backdoors into the processors and all the chips, and that you know, they don't need to hack my computer anymore. They've got a fucking backdoor in. It's like, you know, got a backdoor in. Encryption is broken. Encryption is broken. Nothing is safe. Thus, everybody's losing all their crypto. Of course, they're losing all their fucking crypto. Hey, you Kendo. Kendo's back in the YouTube chat. How you doing, bro? So Gonzo Johnny is saying, nah, Russians are infighting and NATO was hoping on a coup. Both delusional. Yeah, whatever's going on in Russia is very interesting. Very, very interesting. I've got a shit pile of stories on Russia tonight. You know, unreal. In fact, I could be talking about fucking Russia for the next 2 fucking hours, like, but but it's been nuts. The last 2 days in Russia has just been. I started watching what was going on there. In fact, I've been watching this like play out. It's kind of like been a slow motion car crash for the last 2 months, really, with Prigozhin and Surovikin and the Russian military leadership. So I'm just, but just to see it kick off, see it kick off. I was following it last night as this was kicking off, and I was just like, huh, what the fuck? What's going on here? What the fuck is going on here? And then following it like, and followed it last night until I was too tired and says, right, I've got to go to fucking rest now. We'll pick it up in the morning. And in the morning, like, you know, everything that was reported on the night before had been confirmed. And next thing you know, Prigozhin, he's 2 hours from fucking Moscow. And next thing, it fizzles out. What the fuck? What the fuck just happened? What happened? Anyway, we'll see. We'll see if we can dig into the weeds of it in a little while. You know, I just need a bit of time just to fucking chillax, because that's been what I've been. This has been my day, and it's been, you know, after following the show, I'm just worn out after following it like for 2 days. It's been the most exciting 2 days in the last year, I would say. And but yeah, there's something very, very odd going on inside Russia. There's something very, very odd about this war, and not everything is adding up. And do you know what? I think Russia are fucked. I think they're fucked. It's the only fucking thing that makes any fucking sense at all to me. They're fucked. But anyway, I best be careful about what I fucking say about that, like, because not everybody will be happy with that. Not everybody will agree with me, and that's okay. And that's just, I'm just giving you my perspective, like, you know, because something is just not fucking adding up about this whole fucking scene. I mean, basically, let's see if I can get up a few stories. Let's see in the background here. I'm just going to be seeing if I can retrace where all my fucking stories are, because I've got a shit pile of fucking stories to cover tonight. It's unreal. But like Russia, and then then there was the fucking Titanic submarine as well too, and I've got a few extra stories to cover on that, which didn't actually come out with the wash just yet, like, you know, but we do have a few stories on that, We have a few interesting stories on refugee children in England. We've got interesting German politics as well to cover tonight too. Very, very interesting stuff on AI. And we got stuff about the energy shares tumbling, which is also fascinating. Very, very fascinating what's going on in the green energy sector, especially wind energy. So we've got a little bit on the economics as well too. We've got the UK inflation predictions, which is doesn't seem to be too bad actually, but it's probably just worth having a quick look at. I don't know what we're going to get to cover tonight because I always have about 2,000 stories and we only ever get to cover one or two. So that's all okay. There's a story there in with a Russian headline, and yeah, that's typical. That's and then we have a pile of stuff related to the you know whaty that we can't talky abouty stuff, all that sort of stuff, and that's when I might just fuck off over to Rumble exclusively. Just for the last bit, of the show, we might just do that and just get used to telling YouTube that fuck off. But anyway, let's see if we can get to where the start of the story was with the Ukraine, Well, actually, it's not the Ukraine; it's the Russia thing, which is fascinating, right? Now, let's see if I can organize my screen in such a way that everybody can see and hear. And let me just take one little last quick check in with the raconteursnews.com site and make sure I didn't miss anything before I go off on a belt of reading. Gonzo Johnny saying, I'll treat my cryptos like I do my pension. And it's gone. You're not too far off the mark there, Gonzo, for sure. Um, so, look, in the meantime, well, I just want to say to people, I'm going to be reading now for just a little bit while I get through all these Russian stories. I'll catch up with the chat in a few minutes, but I do want to cover some of this Russian stuff because it's just fucking nuts, man. This is what kept me awake now for the last 2 days nearly. And it's fascinating reading, fascinating listening. And let's see if I can remember how to do this. So I've got to share my fucking screen for a start, right? And we'll tear into it then. So I can't remember what this headline is here. Let's see. Opening a new tab. Obviously, this has been translated. This is from a Russian site, and should have some translate to English here. I thought I highlighted all of this here. Yeah, should come on. Should bring up my highlighting now. So basically, June 23rd, via TASS, right? Via TASS, which is the kind of like a mainstream Russian news agency. Statements of the founder of PMC Wagner, Yevgeny Prigozhin, became the basis for initiating a criminal case of incitement to an armed rebellion. This was reported in the National Anti-Terrorism Committee. They called on Prigozhin to stop illegal actions. The allegations spread on behalf of Yevgeny Prigozhin have no basis in connection with these statements. The FSB of Russia initiated a criminal case on the fact of calling for an armed rebellion. We demand an immediate stop to unlawful actions, the NAC said in a statement. Press Secretary for the Head of State, Dmitry Peskov, said that Vladimir Putin was informed about the situation around Prigozhin. All necessary measures have been taken. Earlier, the Ministry of Defense called false information dissemination social networks about the alleged strike by the Ukrainian force on the rear camps of Wagner. So this is in relation to something that Prigozhin said happened, right? Now, Prigozhin has been a very, very interesting, colorful character over the last couple of months with some of his claims. Some of his claims have been really, really fantastic, right? So it started about 2 months ago, I think. This is when I first started following because I didn't know what the fuck was going on with this fucking dude, Prigozhin. Basically, I don't know if everybody remembers, but Prigozhin came out and he was talking about how the Wagners and Russian soldiers were getting slaughtered on the front lines because of a lack of ammunition, right? And um, and basically, he came out and he was saying some crazy fucking shit. Like he was saying, I, I wonder if I could. I should have some. I actually should have some video of what he was saying. I should have it. Like just give me a moment just to see if I can, and to give you an idea, just in case people haven't been following this. I know a lot of people probably have been following it. Like, but yeah, Simplicus, right? This should have the information that I fucking need on it. Hopefully, I'll just continue reading. Let's see. I'm not 100% totally set up here. Let's see if I can get my command prompt up and get audio running. Yeah, this was one of the things that I forgot to do. And dot slash audio connect dash and connect. Yes, and connect that. Okay, so kind of getting there. So just make sure that I'm sharing my screen here. Yep. Okay, so got some video here of the boyo himself. Like this might be this one here might be from earlier on in the season. Let's see. This is the video in relation to last night. On reflection, I completely read precaution followed up with this call to arms. So this is precaution.
Совет командиров Вагнер принял решение. Зло, которое несет военное руководство страны, должно быть установлено. Они пренебрегают жизнями солдат. Они забыли слово «справедливость», и мы вернем ее. Поэтому те, кто уничтожили сегодня наших парней, те, кто уничтожили десятки, многие десятки тысяч жизней русских солдат, будут наказаны. Я прошу никому не оказывать сопротивления. Кто будут пытаться оказать это сопротивление, мы будем считать, что это угроза, и уничтожать немедленно.
I know it's there's no translation software, Kendra, to speak. Can you actually see that? Can you actually? Because I'm not sure if I go. Can I go? Can I go full screen on this? I'm not sure if I can go full screen and you still be able to see it. Like you just have to read.
Включая любые блокпосты, ставшие на нашем пути, любую авиацию, которую увидим над своими головами. Я прошу всех сохранять спокойствие, не поддаваться на провокации, оставаться в своих домах. Желательно по маршруту
Do not succumb to provocations and remain in their houses. Ideally, after we finish what we started, we will return to the front line to protect our motherlands. Presidential Authority, Government, Ministry of Internal Affairs, Roscovardia, and other departments will continue operating as before. We will deal with those who destroy Russian soldiers and we will return to the front line. Justice in the army will be restored, and after this, justice for the whole of Russia. This is a video, this is alleged video of what Prigozhin was saying was that they were hit from the rear by their own, by the Russian Army Federation, and what he was saying was allegedly, this is not confirmed, 2,000 Wagner PMCs were allegedly destroyed in this missile strike. Um, I'm not seeing any bodies here, though. I'm not seeing fuck all, right? Just a bunch of burnt down trees and stuff. Can I check in with you guys? Can you actually see that? Can you actually see that when it's in full screen mode? Let me know in the chat there, just so that I know that you can actually see that, like when I put the video into full screen mode. Okay, yeah. Thanks for 4629044. Fair play to that. Fair play. Now, apparently, there's supposed to be 2,000 fucking. There's a body. There's a body. Are we looking at meat there? I don't know. There's allegedly 2,000 bodies supposed to be there, and I don't know. But anyway, this has been going on with Prigozhin for a while, because like about 2.5 months ago, like I said, he came in like with demands about the ammo not getting to his troops, right? And he was going fucking nuts. He was absolutely going goddamn nuts over this goddamn ammo. He was cursing and blinding on a video, and that's very, very unusual. Very, very unusual for a military commander. But like, keep in mind, PMC Wagner, they're private military. They're not affiliated with. They're not actually affiliated with the Russian military as such, even though they do fight with the Russian military. Oh, it's gone off. Just black screen now, Jim. So, how you doing, Kitty? How you doing, Jerry? Just make sure that I'll check in and that I haven't missed anybody. No, I haven't missed anybody now. So we're up to date. So, hopefully you're seeing. Hopefully it's not all gone completely black there for you. 4629. Oh, I see what's going on. Yeah. It's gone completely black. Why? I don't know. Why is that? I don't know. Somehow my settings have got reset here. And so, yeah. For some reason, thanks for the update 4629. For some reason, I lost my browser settings in OBS, but they seem to be working again now. So maybe, perhaps, because when I go out of full screen mode, I'll have to keep that. I'll have to keep that in mind. I best be careful about that. Keep a close eye on that, just for future reference. But yeah. So Prigozhin, like, he was giving out about the arms and stuff like that. Then about a month ago, Prigozhin then came out and made more fantastic claims about his troops getting shot at. He was claiming that his troops were getting shot at by Russian military somewhere in Donetsk. I think it was Donetsk or Bakhmut. They were just after finishing the operation in Bakhmut, I think it was. And they were going somewhere, and then Prigozhin turned around and made a claim that he was being shot at like by Russian soldiers, and that they had actually taken steps and they had gone and arrested a Russian general. Right, this was the claim at the time, or a commander or something, Russian commander. This was the story at the time. This is about a month ago, not long after Bakhmut was captured. Right. So now, this is the latest episode. This is the latest episode in Prigozhin, what we're listening to now, which apparently happened over the last couple of days, where he's alleging that they were bombed from south of their position. And the story is what he's saying is that he was bombed by the Russian military, shelling, and that they destroyed 2,000 soldiers. Basically, is what Prigozhin's story is, right? And this is why he decided that he was going to move on Moscow. This is the story, right? I'm not sure I believe fucking any of this shit anymore. Really, I really don't. Now, this statement came out during the day from, is it Surovikin? Who? No, that's including, yeah. Surovikin came out then. He's the commander, right? He's the main commander of the Russian uh, command at the moment in Russia, and he came out today with the following, right? He came out today with the following, and hopefully, I think this is subtitled. I think this is subtitled. So, but if not, I'll be reading it anyway.
Я только что по приказу
By order of the
руководства
leadership of the
Министерства
Ministry of
обороны
Defense
Российской
of the Russian
Федерации
Federation,
прибыл с переднего
arrived
края
from the
с
front
передовой,
line, from the front,
где наши войска, наши командиры,
our commanders,
наши
our
солдаты,
soldiers, our
наши
fighters,
бойцы,
volunteers,
добровольцы выполняют
perform the
задачу,
task,
бьются с противником
fight the
насмерть,
enemy
с
to the death
превосходящими
with
силами
superior
противника,
enemy forces,
несут потери,
taking losses,
но стоят на своих
but they stand
позициях.
their ground.
Я обращаюсь к
I'm
руководству,
talking to the leadership,
командирам,
commanders, and
бойцам
fighters of PMC Wagner.
ЧВК «Вагнер». Мы вместе с вами
We are with you,
прошли трудный,
have come a
тяжелый
long
путь.
way and a hard way.
Мы вместе с вами воевали,
We fought with you,
шли на риски,
took risks,
несли потери,
we suffered losses together,
мы вместе
we won.
побеждали.
Look at him, he's got a gun there on his knee.
Мы одной крови,
We are one blood,
мы воины.
we are warriors.
Я призываю
I call to stop.
остановиться. Противник
The enemy
только
is
ждет,
waiting
когда у нас
when it
обострится
escalates within us. The internal
внутриполитическая
political
обстановка.
environment.
Нельзя играть
You
на руку
can't
противнику.
play into their
В эти
opponent's hands in
тяжелые
these difficult
для страны
times
времена.
for our country.
Пока не поздно,
Before
не
it's too
нужно
late,
и
and it is
необходимо это
needed and
сделать.
necessary to do
Это
so.
подчиниться
To
воле
obey the
и
will and
приказу
command,
всенародно
popularly elected
избранного
president of the
президента
Russian Federation,
Российской Федерации. Остановить
stop the
колонну
columns, return
вернуть
them
их
to their permanent
группе
deployment points
по состоянию
and
СК и
concentration
района
areas.
сосредоточения. Решить все
Solve all
проблемы
problems
только мирным
only
путем
peacefully,
под
under the
руководством
leadership of the
Верховного
Supreme Commander,
главнокомандующего вооруженными
Armed
силами
Forces of the Russian Federation.
Российской Федерации.
So that was Surovikin, right? That was Surovikin. Early on this morning, it was one of the first things I seen early on this morning. that was the first hint that I got that this was actually something more than just Ukraine disinformation, right? So it looked. I'm not sure what to make of Surovikin there. Like, you know, did he look worried? Did he look calm? It's hard to tell. Very, very hard to tell. Very, very hard to tell with these people. It's very, very possibly a psyop for sure. I'll read a little bit from this article, to be honest, and give you some ideas. And this is actually an article from Simplicicus. I'm not overly familiar with it, to be honest. Like Simplisticus 76, but it's been widely reported. Like this article has been flying around, and it was a good sort of assumption of what was going on. And he's talking here. Note the symbolic gun on Surovikin's lap. Another top defense minister likewise releases a video, but I haven't found a subtitled version yet. According to the spokesman of the president of the Russian Federation, Dmitry Peskov, the president of the Russian Federation, Igor Krasnov, about the initiation of criminal proceedings against the head of PMC Wagner, Yevgeny Prigozhin, in connection with the attempt to organize an armed uprising. One thing that is important to note is the incident appears on the surface to have come out of the blue. But in reality, things have been developing for quite a while, most notably if you recall that the Russian Ministry of Defense a few weeks back issued a new ruling for all volunteers and PMCs to register under the yoke of the Russian Ministry of Defense. On the surface, the justification was to give equal benefits to all volunteers that Russian servicemen get for their services. So this did actually happen. Like there was this attempt to bring Wagner under contract. I think did seem to be a push to get Prigozhin out and bring the whole of the Wagner team under the Russian military. Basically, is what he's suggesting here. But clearly, there was also an ulterior motive to get Wagner to sign their semi-independence away and confirm entirely and de jure under the Russian Ministry of Defense command structure. Prigozhin openly said no, that he will not be signing away any such contract. Since that point, the Ministry of Defense had obviously been working on a plan on how to deal with and potentially subdue Wagner should they fully go rogue and refuse to be assimilated into the military of defense. Rumors such as, for instance, that 2 weeks ago Shoigu had given orders for Russian troops to open fire on Wagner on sight. The most recent rumor from only a few days ago was that the Ministry of Defense was planning to arrest Prigozhin any day now. This brings us to the next step in the causal chain. It is plausible that the Ministry of Defense was planning to finally take action on Prigozhin because he recently released another series of increasingly inflammatory and accusatory videos, one of which I had already uploaded onto my next report that I was planning on discussing until the extent she took over today. Well, we've actually seen that one. The video was completely unhinged, and it was the first time, in the writer's opinion here, not my opinion, in the writer's opinion, where Prigozhin outright lied, and viciously as well. It was the first time when I truly began to question his motives in a more serious way, because I simply could not mentally reconcile how it's possible that he would make up such absolutely wild and objectively false claims. You can watch the video and judge for yourself, he says here. But some examples are, he claimed that the Russian Ministry of Defense is lying and that AFU have in fact broken through the Russian defenses and reached up to Tokmak. The problem is, the very next day, upwards of 3 separate Russian troop units in different cities of Sadova and Urasnio released videos proving that not only do they control those cities, which Prigozhin claimed the AFU had already swept through, but that the front was calm and there wasn't even any fighting anywhere near them, let alone any fantasy breakthroughs of which he speaks. Keep in mind, this is after already being caught in such lies multiple times, which I've reported on recently. For instance, when Prigozhin said that the Russian troops had lost Berhovka at the northwest corner of Bakhmut, only to be refuted the next day by Russian 200 Brigade troops inside Berhovka, proving they had not gone away anywhere. In yesterday's video also said that the AFU occupies Piaty-Khatki. That's a very tough one to pronounce. Piaty-Khatki, which proven wrong as well, as the AFU was driven out of there and the settlement gone into the grey zone. He goes on to argue that Ukraine's counteroffensive thus far has been disastrous for Russia. Does he live in an entirely different world? The writer asks with a question mark here. And in a longer version of the video, he makes other disastrous claims which are likewise not only ludicrous, but objectively wrong and even treasonous. Either that or completely psychotically unhinged, which wouldn't surprise me because, like, I've done a little bit of cursory research on this dude, Prigozhin, and he's a pretty nasty piece of work, right? But anyway, that's not for here and now. Prigozhin said that Ukraine has not bombed the Donbass for 8 years. This is what, I remember this. Prigozhin said that Ukraine had not bombed the Donbass for 8 years And the Ministry of Defense is inventing facts to show itself in a good light. Point number two, on the borders with Donbass, we hit them, they hit us. This happened all the long 8 years from 2014 to 2022. On February 24th, there was nothing extraordinary. After 2014, Donbass was plundered by the people from the presidential administration, the FSB, and oligarchs. The generals sought up the money allocated for the core of the People's Militia, LDNR. Generals received money for dead souls. Point number four, the Ministry of Defense deceives the public and talks about the insane aggression of Ukraine as if they were going to attack us together with the entire NATO bloc. SVO was stated for completely different reasons. Point number five, Zelensky, when he became president, was ready for any agreements. All that had to be done was to get off Olympus, go and negotiate. And point number six, badly planned operation. For some reasons, a bunch of idiots decided that they are so smart as that no one will understand what they're doing during the exercise, and no one will stop them. So he's just pointing out some of the crazy things that Prigozhin has been saying here for a while. The other big one not listed above was that he said the real reason for the SMO was that Russian oligarchs needed this war. That this is so contrary to the truth that even Strelkov had to refute it with a post where he said it's the opposite. The liberal regime and the oligarchs in Russia would do anything to end the SMO and continue their merry deals with their favorite partners of the West. To suggest that the SMO started because of the oligarchs wanted it is simply preposterous. Really? I don't know. I like to keep an open mind about these things. Who knows what the oligarchs are thinking? And the second biggest point is that if most of the things he says were true, then the actual Russian soldiers, those salt of the earth fighters on the ground, would back him and support his words. But unfortunately, I see dozens of new reports each day from actual Russian troops on the ground. I don't see any of them reflecting anything even remotely approaching what he's saying. In fact, several recent reports directly from the front lines somewhere, Prigozhin is not president, by the way, state the complete opposite of his thesis. They say that they have plenty of ammo, good supplies, high morale, etc. No one, blah, 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 blah. Right. This is all fucking hearsay and bullshit, by the way. It's so on that note, let's explore a few possible options for what could actually be going on. This is kind of like this kind of summation. Prigozhin is working with AFU, SBU, CIA to backstab and destroy Russia, coordinating his actions with them. Possibility number two, Prigozhin is secretly working with Putin to remove the stodgily entrenched Russian command. Notice not a single one of his rants has Prigozhin accused Putin or so much as even mentioned his name. There's a possibility that all this is theater to cause a conciliatory deal to be made, which will result in the stepping aside of Shoigu. Putin has previously laterally promoted, in actuality, demotion several big name Siloviki and the past. For instance, Sergei Ivanov, who was deputy prime minister and presidential chief of staff, was moved to head some ecological department. Could see where Shoigu used a big fig leaf to settle the impasse by laterally moving him to some other ostensibly important but actually irrelevant position. Or point number three, everything is actually as is, and whatever we see on the surface of the conflict pretty much represents what's really happening. Well, there could be a point number four there as well, too. Maybe there's a point number four. What if it's all fucking true? What if it's all fucking true and the war is going really fucking bad, and this is probably opening up a possibility where giving Putin a route out of this, who knows, by bringing into question the military command of the Russian forces. Who knows? God only fucking knows. But I'll tell you what, this fucking stinks to high heaven. Something doesn't add up about all this fucking shit, really, at all. And shit, I should have had that tuned in for you on the screen, like, and so that you could read along. I hope that I was able to make fucking sense of that, like clearly and concisely. But it's so weird. Prigozhin got to within 200 kilometers today of Moscow. Nobody stood in his way. They took over Rostov on Don without a bullet being fired, right? Not one single bullet being fired. I think on the way to Rostov on Don, a couple of helicopters were taken down, Russian helicopters were taken down, and one MiG jet was taken down. I think all pilots lost on the MiG jet. I think that the crews of the helicopters survived. But the fact that Prigozhin was able to get to 200 kilometers of Moscow, right? Nobody tried to stop him. This grand Russian military were not able to stop Prigozhin on his way to fucking Moscow. Amid rumors that fucking Vladimir Putin had abandoned the city, left, and took off on government airplanes with a lot of like high ranking who the fuck knows what's going on here for sure. But what doesn't make sense to me is the way it all ended, right? This evening, our time, GMT, probably around 4 to 5 p.m. First start getting stories coming in that like Lukashenko from Belarus had brokered a deal with Prigozhin to stand down and to back off, and now all of a sudden Prigozhin is returning with PMC Wagner back to the camps. Really? He was a terrorist this morning, right? A goddamn terrorist, and Putin had to put out a message that they were going to be wiped off the fucking face of the earth, and now he's just walking back with his soldiers to the camp. They're going to allow a terrorist to go back. No. Something really wrong about this. Something really doesn't smell fucking right about this. And I can't put my finger on it at the moment, but all I know is it's a fucking what's the term they use? A kabuki? Is it a kabuki theater? It's just all fucking scripted, man. Sorry to everybody over on raconteurs.com because I've been a little bit remiss and not paying close attention to the chat over here. Let's see let's see. I'll go back a little bit. I won't go back all the way. So Gonzo Johnny said apparently he is being sent to Belarus, and Wagner gets the weapons they need from Telegram's Intel Slava. Johnny, I do follow a lot of those channels, like, you know, I don't, not Slava in particular, but like I do follow a good few of those Russian channels. So they're all fucking nutcases, and a lot of them, like, I do, especially that Slavigrad, that Slaviangrad is like fucking, they're nutcases. Sometimes I just wonder why the fuck I bother with them, but a lot of those Russian channels just do my nut in. But anyway, criminal case on armed rebellion against Prigozhin will be terminated. Yeah, it doesn't surprise me, Johnny. During negotiations, an agreement was reached that the Wagner PMC fighters would go to field camps and Prigozhin himself would leave for Belarus. Well, I wonder why Prigozhin would be going to Belarus, Johnny. That's an odd one. Why would Prigozhin go to Belarus? Interesting. Amnesty? I don't know. Fair. Yeah. Johnny's saying very funny. At the moment, they were going rogue. Wagner was called freedom fighters by Western mainstream media. Yeah, they're not freedom fighters. They're fucking mafiosa. They're mafia. They're guilty of multiple crimes all across Africa. They're scumbags. They're real scumbags. Like basically, they come from the same place as Vladimir Putin. They come from Saint Petersburg. Um, where did they get their from? They're mafia. To, tell you what, we might do a deep dive on fucking Prigozhin at some fucking stage. Like, I don't know. I hate looking into the history of a lot of these mafia style bosses because you have to deal with a lot of fucking torture stories and stuff like that. And sometimes I just don't have the stomach for it. So, freedom fighters, my fucking ass. It is what it is. Let's see. I'll just check in with the Rumble chat here. Rumble is quiet. And I know I'll just go over to YouTube. I won't go back too far. Um, John Smith is saying, "How you doing, John? By the way, there are so many vested interests in this psyop. You just don't know who is the main. Yeah, 100%, John. It's impossible to know who the main protagonists are. It's impossible, no matter how. Like, but I'll tell you what, my money is on Russia, China, Israel. That's where my money is. I'm sticking to that. And don't forget, America, really bad. They're bad. So, what's the good news, Jimmy Stephen? Is that the good news? Well, it's plenty good news, man. Just get a copy of the Bible, man. That's just plenty good news. You can go listen, read about how you doing, Mick Ramo. You can go and read about how God dealt with his with his enemies in the Bible. Like he turned them all to fucking stone. So who's saying who was in St. Albans? Who's in St. Holy shit! I missed that. This chat is not playing ball here tonight over on YouTube. I've seen something about St. Albans and I was just quickly curious about it. Mia's asking, is Jim snubbing us over here? Well, let's get ready to rumble. Well, Rumble is very quiet. It'd be easier to keep up with everybody on Rumble, but no, I'm not snubbing you all over on the on the YouTube. I was scrolling down through everybody's messages there, and I'm after losing. Somebody was posting something about St. Albans, and it just caught my ear because I lived in St. Albans a few years ago, but it looks like I'm not going to find it back because uh, every time I stop, it's sort of like any time somebody puts in a new message, the chat fucks off back down to the bottom again before I get a chance to continue where I'm reading from. So no, I can't find that St. Albans post back again anymore. So I just John Smith is saying I saw Robert Plant in St. Albans 2 years ago, and he was great. Robert Plant, right? Whoever the fuck I think I heard of him before. So Spanish is saying if you were a British politician with Russia, you would need Sadiq Khan's Range Rover. Stephen has been to St. Petersburg, walked on the frozen sea at Kronstadt military base, and anyway, there you go. So that was all the drama that was coming out of fucking Russia, and as to what the fuck's going on there, I really have no clue. I thought I was confused 2 days ago. I'm really confused now. My bet. My gut is telling me. The war is not going well for Russia. That's what I'm thinking. I think we'll find out more about this shortly. Like it's hard to know just at the moment. Like there's just so much fucking misinformation, and you just couldn't be keeping up with it. Like, I follow what they all say. I follow the Western side. I follow the Western media. I follow the Russian media. I follow the fucking Chinese media. I follow the Israeli media. I try to get as many different viewpoints as possible, and sometimes you're lucky enough to get the little gems in between where you might be able to say get an idea of what might be going on. Like, but for the most part, and I follow a lot of good Telegram channels, but Telegram has been nuts this last few days. Like, a lot of channels have shown themselves up to be too overly emotionally involved in particular stories, too emotionally involved in the outcome of what happens with Mother Russia, right, or the fatherland. Call it what you fucking like. I don't care. They're too emotional to be able to give balanced reporting of any story, really. Like, so I've found over the last since I moved to Rumble, or since I moved to Telegram, um, a couple of years back, got rid of all the other social media accounts. It's been it's been interesting. It's an interesting environment, but at the end of the day, you don't know who the fuck is who there, and you get lots of channels. They got big followings, like, and you know, you can tell, like, they get a lot of attention, right? But when you dig a little bit deeper and you watch these channels for a while, there could be multiple people posting on these channels, multiple people, and you don't know for sure if they're paid for, if it's propaganda, what sort of propaganda it is. I mean, like, it's all fucking propaganda. Everybody's got their own idea about what's what on the fucking internet, what's news, what's not news, and I suppose we all color it in our own little fucking way. And impartiality just seems to be gone out the window. Like, there was a time when you could just get like a decent news service, like, we give you both sides, and say, right, well, this has been going on, and this is what the people in Russia are saying, and this is what the people in America are saying, this is what people in fucking England are saying. You don't get that. You get very, very polarized information these days. The internet seems to have broken. I don't even sure. You can't even just blame the internet. It's not the internet's fault either. It's the modern media. It's a natural progression, I suppose, of media. Once they started to realize the power it had, like, and the way that you could manipulate people, it probably did seem like a natural progression. I mean, people are susceptible to fucking propaganda. It doesn't matter. I mean, it doesn't matter that we have the internet and television. Like, there was propaganda long before there was ever television or the internet. Like, and back then it was done via paper. It was done through books, and in fact, like, it's even been done through word of mouth propaganda. Like, and I mean, it's like that here in Ireland, for example, right? It's like you got this party political fucking divide here in this country where party politics seems to follow families, even, right? So you'll get families who all tend to be, they 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 live, they grow, then they get old, and they were always Fianna Fáil voters or Fine Gael voters, and my father was a Fianna Fáil voter, and I'm a Fianna Fáil voter, and my children will be, and this is the way it is, and that's another way people are propagandized, and it's kind of like it's inbred into people. You don't need an internet or fucking TV to just do that. Like, families will do it to family. It's like, this is the way it fucking works, man. It's like, you can't escape it. You can't escape it. But it just seems to be on steroids with the internet and stuff like that. It's just kind of mad, really. Like, but it's just as effective. But it's the same propaganda we've always been sort of subjected to. Like, and in order to break the cycle, we just have to fucking see it for what it is, basically. And I see this Prigozhin, Russia, whole fucking malarkey-warky. It's bullshit. It's absolutely bullshit. None of it is fucking real. It didn't fucking happen. It was a theater. It was made up. That's the way I see it. They've been working on this for fucking months now, and to what end, I'm not 100% sure. But the fact that Prigozhin isn't sitting in fucking prison right now, getting ready to be executed in the morning, tells me that this was set up, and and for what purpose? What is the purpose? What would the purpose be? It's not clear. It's not fucking clear. It's not clear. Is it to give Putin a way out of this fucking war? Yeah, maybe, 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 because I don't think they're winning it, and I think they're losing. I think they're losing it badly, actually. And NATO haven't even got fucking started yet. They really haven't. They're just starting. They're on, they haven't even sent in the big guns yet, you know. So we'll see where this goes anyway. So Denny is saying, all I know, Jimmy, the price of spuds have gone up. Are you sure, Denny? Are you sure they've gone up? I'm not so sure. Um, because I came across a story there earlier on. I did, okay. And coming out of the UK about the interest rates and stuff like that, and about the price of goods. Let's see if I can find the fucking thing first. But I think it was probably one of the last stories that I. It was probably one of the last stories I put into this piece of software here that I use for gathering my stories. UK inflation. Supermarkets say, let's see. I'll open it up in a new tab and I might be able to see the heading a bit better. So, UK inflation. Supermarkets say price rises will ease soon. Okay. This kind of ties into what I've been seeing because I've been seeing fluctuations in prices here in this country as well too, and I have a feeling prices are coming down, kind of slowly, but they're coming down. So let's see. I think I may have highlighted some of these. I do have to. Yeah, I did highlight some of it. So a drop in the cost of wholesale food prices globally has not led to falls in the prices charged by UK supermarkets. Okay, well, we can sort of expand this to globally as well, too, because this has been a global issue for a little while now. So, but even though this is UK, we can sort of like extrapolate this to being sort of kind of like a global thing. So, inflation was expected to fall below 10% last month, but soaring food prices meant it fell by less than expected. You would expect to see global food price falls reflected in supermarkets, but we're not there yet, the Office of National Statistics told the BBC. The retail industry body said there was a 3 to 9 month lag to see price falls reflected in shops. As food production costs peaked in October 2022, we expect consumer food prices to start coming down over the next few months, the British Retail Consortium said. Inflation, which measures at rate of price rises, fell to 10.1% in the year to March from 10.4% in February, driven by food prices rising at their fastest rate for 45 years. There was a big jump in prices for products including olive oil, milk, and ready meals. Like milk, olive oil was up 49%. I didn't notice that myself now, but then again, I don't buy olive oil. Milk up 38%. I didn't notice that either because I do buy dried milk, and that seems to have stayed stable. And ready meals, whatever the fuck they are, up 21%. Ready meals, I suppose, like processed foods, I imagine, right? Okay, well, I don't eat them either, so I wouldn't notice that. But I have noticed other things. But campaigners point out that rising food prices hit poorer households the hardest, and they spend a greater proportion of their income on groceries. So the war in Ukraine has driven up food prices around the world, blah, blah, yeah. The war in, yeah, I tell you what, you could blame the fucking war in Ukraine for the common cold at this fucking stage. There might be some truth to that too. But anyway, we won't go there. But the UK has faced other problems on top of this, from Brexit, red tape to labour shortages. This year, in particular, bad weather abroad led to shortages of some vegetables, a situation made worse by UK farmers producing less due to surging energy costs. All which is true. Like, yeah, we had bad weather all across the globe really this year. Like, yeah, it did hit fucking farming pretty bad, and the energy costs were pretty serious. UK farmers have also argued that supermarkets are not paying a fair price for their produce. No shit, Sherlock. And the government's former food czar, Henry Dimbleby, what is that, Dimbleby, has said supermarkets having fixed price contracts with suppliers meant that when food is scarce, some producers opt to sell less to the UK and more elsewhere in Europe. Grant Fitzner, chief economist for the Office of National Statistics, which provides the figures, said the agency did not make forecasts, but he said that it was certain within the realm of possibility that double-digit inflation is sustained at least for another month, with food prices continuing as they are. So they've done how the cost of some fruits has risen. So cheddar cheese up 49%. But these are, bear in mind, these are English prices. We didn't. I don't think I've seen cheddar cheese up 49. But then again, cheddar cheese is not something that I buy a lot. I don't buy a lot of milk either, so I wouldn't see that. 40%. Broccoli up 32%. Don't buy much broccoli either myself, so could grow that. Granulated sugar up 32%. Yes, I've noticed that. I've noticed granular sugar, especially brown sugars, were up quite a bit. Eggs up 28%. Yes, I noticed the eggs. Chicken up 25%. I can't say I've noticed an increase in chicken myself. And sliced white bread up 21. In fact, all bread has been up quite a bit here in Ireland as well too. So yes, a lot of those things I would agree with. Some of the products I don't use myself, so I wouldn't notice it, like, but I have been keeping an eye on a lot of these products. So inflation in the UK remains higher than in other Western countries, including the US, Germany, France, and Italy. On Wednesday, new figures showed Eurozone inflation eased to 6.9% last month from 8.5%. Really? I didn't notice that now, so I didn't know that. Analysts at Capital Economics said UK inflation had risen further and stayed higher than elsewhere as the UK has experienced the worst of both worlds. A big energy shock like the Eurozone, the labour shortages, are even worse than the US. UK energy prices are likely to come down quickly, it added, but the issues in the labour market will probably persist until late 2024. Chancellor Jeremy Hunt said he was still confident that inflation would fall sharply by the end of the year. He added, "We have a plan, and if we're going to reduce the pressure on families, it's absolutely essential we stick to the plan. Trust the plan, folks. Trust that plan, right? And we see it through so that we have inflation this year, as Prime Minister has promised." But Rachel Reeves, Labour Shadow Chancellor, said the reality is that under the Tories, yes, the bloody Tories, they're all a bunch of cunts, isn't that right? She has it right. The reality is that under the Tories, our economy is weaker, prices are out of control, and never have people paid so much to get so little in return. While food prices remain stubbornly high, petrol prices eased, bringing some relief. Yeah, but I'll tell you who wasn't relieved with the fucking climate change activists. They're gluing themselves to the fucking road in vast numbers now. So unleaded petrol prices peaked at about 190 in July, and we're down below 150 in March. Falling inflation doesn't mean prices are falling, but just that the rate of price rises is slowing. So anyway, let's see. Simon Mellon, founder and the chief executive of the Modern Milk, the milk delivery service, said the food industry had faced soaring costs in recent months with milk, eggs, blah, blah, blah. He believes that food prices will start to stabilise, but will remain at a much higher level than they were at this time last year. I'm really unsure if food prices will drop as much as everybody expects. Of course, they're not going to drop. That's not how fucking growth works. But anyway, we can dream, I suppose. I expect some reductions, but I wouldn't personally expect huge reductions in the next 12 months. He said he was trying not to pass higher prices on to customers, but added that it was a balance. The Bank of England has been raising interest, right? Blah, blah, blah. Anyway, you get the deal, right? Apparently, Inflation rates are coming down. And I have to say, I have to be honest. I've been noticing this myself over the last few months. Prices seem to be stabilizing. Some things seem to be coming down. I can't put my finger on it because I don't pay that close. It doesn't bother me. They can do what they fucking like. When you understand how growth works and stuff like that, when you understand all that fucking malarkey, that you know prices increase. That's just it. This is the way fucking. If you've got an economy that's based on a system of growth, no matter what the fucking percentage rate is, prices are going to fucking increase. That's just it. And you can't get away from that. It's true. A few things happened over the last couple of years which have really made things bad. But I'll tell you what. I am sick of all these fucking doom-tired fucking economists who come on to the fucking talk and fucking mouth it alt media fucking channels, and all you hear is doom. And don't forget to buy fucking gold and silver, and pop over to fucking getyourgold.com or wherever the fuck they want to send you, man. Buy gold, and that's going to save you. My fucking arse, man. No wonder, there's a lot of money in promoting fucking doom and fear porn. I tell you what, I tell you who's a fucking great one for you. I don't know if you watch Canadian fucking prep. What a fucking arsehole. What a fucking arsehole, man. Nothing but doom and fucking gloom. Don't forget to go over to his fucking site. You can buy his tents. You can buy his knives. Get ready for the fucking collapse. It's coming. It's coming. It's going to happen next week. If not next week, it'll happen the week after. It could be next year, but at least you'll be fucking ready, right? At least you'll be ready. You'll have your fucking knife. That's going to fucking save you. Right? There's a lot of these fucking channels. You have your gold and your silver. That's what it's. You can eat your way out of the fucking shit hit the fan fucking times. Eat your gold and eat your fucking silver. What a load of shit, man. What a load of shit. The last thing you want to be fucking you in a shit fucking fan situation. The last thing you want to do is let anybody you got fucking gold, and you know what's going to fucking happen to you. Let's see what's been going on in our little chat box, because I've been blathering on there in a fucking BBC article. For fuck's sake. But anyway, this is it though. I read all these fucking. I do read all these fucking things, man. John is saying, Jimmy, the inflation rate is based on a yearly basis. If you look at the last 5 years, food prices have doubled, at least where I live. They haven't doubled here though, John. But what I will say, there's been about 33% increase. If I was to put a figure on, I would say 33% here. But then again, you probably get a bit of variability depending on location, I suppose, and availability. Who knows? There's probably a lot of factors involved in the prices of commodities, and availability as well. I mean, let's not forget, there's been a tax on the food lines as well too. Some alleged outbreaks of fucking bird flus and stuff, and culling of chickens, and driving up fucking prices of eggs and stuff like that. There's been a lot of crazy stuff going on. So there's a lot of things to factor in here. What's going on? Because what drives the cost of things in the shops is their availability. So if there's less of stuff to go around, it's going to be fucking. You're going to be paying for it. And I've often noticed it too, as well too. Like with the if you wanted to buy proper healthy food, from a proper health shop, you're always going to pay an awful lot more, maybe even twice as much as you pay for the crap you will in your crappy supermarket in town. You got a proper health food store and buy there. The huge difference in prices between a proper health shop that has proper from the farm food, and a supermarket where they got stuff that's processed en masse. It's a massive difference in price. So Spanish is good. Get the StreamYard going, Jimmy, before I pass out, so we can argue, for fuck's sake. Yeah, well, okay, yeah, why not, man? Why not? Why not? Hold on. Just give me a moment. I'll get the old stream there. God, you're a cunt, man. You're always making fucking work for me, you little bastard. Right? Now I have to fucking go and post a link into fucking 3 chat rooms now, right? He's a hooer. He's a hooer. Oh, I forgot. There's a chat box in fucking StreamYard now. Everybody's able to chat on. I forgot about that. Holy shit. But anyway, so I'll tell you what. I'll throw that in there. Yeah, that's it. There's that StreamYard link. I'll chuck it into Rumble, and no need to put it into. And I better check in over at racontoursnews.com and make sure that everybody has the Addy in there. So anybody wants to join, feel free, come in. Don't forget, Spanish is going to be there, and he wants to argue, and he's on his 8th can tonight, so he's going to be on form. So try to keep an eye on the. I will. So where was I? Yeah, we were. Yeah, I was reviewing. Some of the chat, like. Over on YouTube for a start. So just because I don't want to leave anybody out here, because people do get offended. Like if you don't keep an eye on what's going on in the chat, people do get offended. So John is saying that Westmine Bank make you feel like a criminal if you get cash out. You have to fill a form in, and the police may be called. You're not kidding, John. If I wanted to go into NatWest and get 50 quid out to buy some drugs downtown, like the police would be called. Are you serious, man? Holy shit! And I mean, here we got all these people. They're worried about fucking CBDCs, right? Everybody's worried about CBDCs, and fucking hell, they're going to be coming to watch everything that they can already do it by the looks of it. Holy shit! So Mascara is saying the trick with dried milk and tea is to put the same amount of water you would put into a cup and use a dry spoon to stir in a teaspoon of dried milk. It doesn't clump uh, up in the cup that way. Stephen. Yeah, no, you're dead right, Mascara. Do you know what? I've been using dried milk for youngs. I won't use anything else other than dried fucking milk. For one, it stores fucking brilliantly. Like I always have a load of dried milk. One of the most important things I have. It stores for fucking ages. And do you know what? And I don't. Yeah, just if you want to add a bit of dried milk into a cup of tea, like you said, a bit of a dry spoon. Take out a scoop of dried milk, pop it really quickly, and stir straight away in the cup of tea. You get nothing sticks to the spoon. It's brilliant. Like it's absolutely brilliant stuff. Like I love dried milk, man. It's really a top commodity. Like and just to piss me off, like milk could be constantly fucking going off, like and constantly seem to be buying the fucking shit. You've got a little tub of fucking dry of powdered milk, and it lasts forever. Like, well, not forever. Like it does have a lifespan, but it lasts for fucking ages, man. And you only use what you need at the time, and you never end up like with a place that smells like sour fucking milk, man. Fucking brilliant stuff. Brilliant. So anyway, where were we? Oh yeah, I was checking out the chat and see. Mascara saying state employee. I've said snake employees. State snake employees will be replaced by AI soon enough, and they'll know what it's like for the rest of us. You are 100% right, Mascara, and I have a brilliant story to cover about that coming out of Germany. Give that just a minute. I'll just tell you what I'll do. I'll bookmark that story for next because it's kind of like important. And I was actually laughing when I read this, and it was coming out of Germany, but I'm not going to spoil the story by because I want to finish. I want to finish with the. I do want to finish with the chat and just catch up because and just make sure I didn't miss anything important. So I'm start saying, but 340 grams of dried milk earlier today for about 280. It'll keep me in tea for weeks. Yeah, dried milk is the way forward, Mascara. Definitely. So, yeah, look, I'm not going to go back too far there. I've caught back up to where Spanish is crying to get into the fucking stream yard. Uh, no, John, I don't have a fridge. I have a fridge. It's outside, but I haven't switched it on in years. It's like I don't use it, man. No need for it, man. No need for it. And I know it might sound fucking weird. It might sound weird, but no, I don't use my fridge anymore. And I don't think I've used the fridge for. I tell you what, it must be 10 years since I used the fridge. I haven't had a television for 20 plus years. Don't use a fridge. It's like I just buy what I need. I never have more than I fucking need. You know, some people have their fucking cupboards full of all sorts of fucking shit, man. And a lot of it always gets fucking thrown away. I don't have that problem. I just buy what I fucking need. So fucking simple, man. And plus, I have a unique way of cooking, right? You know, so when I cook, I cook enough for a couple of days, and it always stores. It stores freaking great, man. Like it doesn't go like you'd imagine, like when you cook something up that'll go. It doesn't go off straight away. No, it fucking doesn't, man. So usually, like you know, after date free, then get worried, you know. But so my needs are very, very simple, and I don't have a problem with fucking foods, even in hot weather. I have a little bit of a cool. I have a cool cupboard that I keep stuff in. Right, it's very, very cool, and they're very, very protected. So so the heat doesn't get out, especially in summertime. Still never have problems. So fridges are over fucking rated. Fuck this Saturday night and we're talking about milk. Yeah, I know. But why not? Like, after all, it's kind of like a safe topic to cover on fucking YouTube. I don't think the AI is tweaked onto the fucking great milk conspiracy just yet. So I think we're kind of safe enough on that one just for now. I don't want to fucking push. I don't want to push my limit tonight. I know the plan was to fucking tell YouTube to fuck off, but I haven't got the fucking heart to tell you to fuck off tonight. I just can't do it, man. I can't do it. Let's have a look over at Racoons news site and see what the cunts in there are fucking saying. If they're saying anything at all. Johnny is saying, true, most people could do with less food. Quality food is hard to get. Then he's saying, stop the brats throwing all them fish fingers in the bin. I know, it's ridiculous. You know, my mom used to be the very fucking same. My mom used to be, you know, she'd have a full freezer of stuff, right? And about 3 years down the fucking road, she'd end up having to fucking throw the whole fucking lot out. And still, like, for no reason. The food was probably still perfectly fucking fine, man. You know? Probably still perfectly fine, but you wouldn't trust it. Like, this is what people are like, man. They hoard shit, right? And I can understand preppers, right? Preppers are actually preparing for stuff like, but the ordinary little sort of like ordinary fucking munchkin who lives on the fucking estates and stuff like that, you know, they all have freezers and stuff like that, and they're all full of stuff. They don't ever fucking look at it, you know, and they go back to fucking use it and say, they're digging out their fucking freezer. What the fuck is that? When did I buy that? How long is that? And then it's like, oh shit, man, that could be there 10 fucking years. Right? Fuck it out. Right? It's good. And and there's probably nothing wrong with it. Like, probably nothing wrong with it. Like, but this is the way people are. These are fucking consumers for you. It's the way they're programmed. It's the way they've allowed themselves to be programmed, I reckon. But anyway, it is what it fucking is. But yeah, getting back, Mascara was talking about AI coming for the fucking jobs and stuff like that. Well, I do have a little bit of a story about AI tonight of something that's hitting the hitting the headlines over in Germany. Hold on, let's see. Yeah, yeah, so let's see. I'll just open this up in a new tab so I can actually see that the actual headline as well too. So Europe's biggest newspaper replacing editorial jobs with AI. Right now, the best-selling newspaper in Europe is cutting 20% of its jobs and having a variety of editorial roles performed by artificial intelligence going forward. It has announced the massive tabloid built built. Is that how it's pronounced? Built. Um, built in Germany is owned by Europe's biggest media publisher, Alexei Springer SE, which sent an email to staff announcing a 100 million effort to cut costs, as reported by the Frankfurt Allgemeine newspaper. Frankfurter Allgemeine newspaper. These measures include cutting hundreds of jobs and making a variety of editor positions redundant, as AI can now fulfill those roles. Bild currently employs around 1,000 staff, and an estimated 200 or so are now to be let go. Axel Springer reported that Bild would unfortunately be parting ways with colleagues who have tasks that in the digital world are performed by AI and their automated processes, adding that AI will soon be able to completely take over the layout of the printed newspaper. The group claimed that in the near future, various roles, including editors, print production staff, sub editors, proofreaders, and photo editors, will no longer exist as they do today. Good fucking riddance, I would say. The company previously announced that it would be moving towards becoming a purely digital media company. However, a Bild spokesperson told CNN that the job cuts and corporate restructuring had nothing to do with the use of AI, and that the AI policy was a separate move meant merely to aid journalists. Hold on, let me read that again. The Bild spokesperson told CNN that the job cuts and corporate restructuring had nothing to do with the use of AI, and that the AI policy was a separate move. I don't know what he's trying to say there. I don't know. He's trying to fucking confuse me. Just trying to confuse me. The issue of AI in media became to the forefront of debate in Ireland last month when the Irish Times apologised and retracted a hoax AI generated article that was submitted to the paper as if it were a real person by a prankster. Yes, I read that article. That was very, very interesting, that one. This article is coming from gript.ie, by the way. Touted as a kind of a alternative media source, but I'll bet you they're just a bunch of cunts as well too, like the fucking rest of the alt media. So, a report by the investment bank Goldman Sachs released in April of this year found that AI could replace the equivalent of 300 million full-time jobs worldwide, and could replace a quarter of work tasks in the US and Europe. The report found a significant discrepancy in how much AI would impact various economic sectors, with an estimated 44% of legal tasks being possible to automate, but only 4% of construction tasks. That makes very, very good sense. I mean, like, there's a load of fucking legal people. They're about to be out of fucking work. Good fucking riddance. The report also claimed that AI could significantly increase economic productivity globally, representing an almost 7 trillion increase in global GDP. So, how are they going to pay for all these people? There we go. AI is going to fucking pay for it, right? All you got to do is just consume their bullshit, right? So, anyway, that was that story I wanted to cover about the AI, especially for you, Mascara, because it'll be keeping an eye on all these fucking things, um, all sorts of things, not just Ukraine and all that, but like lots of fucking things. 'Cause, I mean, there's more going on in the world than the bullshit in Ukraine and fucking Russia. Germany's a much more interesting place, you know. Germany's quite interesting. What's going on there all the fucking time? So I'd be fascinated. Hold on, I better check just to make sure there's nobody sitting in the back room there in StreamYard because I know Spanish is itching to get in. He's the cunt. He's still not fucking there. He's still begging to get in, and he's still fucking not there. But it's fascinating though to me. It's fascinating to me that like all these cunts who've been misinforming people for not just the last 2 to 3 years, but for the last 20 years, for the last fucking 50 years, all those fuckers are now going to be sent out to pasture. And you know what? There's something really cool about that. I think it's a very, very fitting demise for a bunch of fucking cunts who are just a drain on humanity. I don't know if you remember an old show from way back, The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, right? And there was a great in one particular episode. I'm not talking about the TV show. I'm talking the old radio show, which was probably the best version and the one and only version worth fucking listening to, right? But there was a certain segment where Ford and Arthur they get stranded. They get stranded on a planet with a load of hairdressers and politicians and middle management, right? Remember that they were and the story. What was the story? Was they were on their original planet, right? And then there was a story released that there was a giant mutant space goat that was passing through the solar system and was going to destroy their planet, right? So the plan was that like they were going to evacuate the whole fucking planet, right? So what they done was they loaded all the fucking hairdressers, all the middle managers, and all the politicians onto the spaceships and sent them off first because it was important that they arrive at the destination first because they were going to have to get it all ready for when the rest of the population would arrive behind. But as Ford and Arthur were digging into their story, it became apparent that like this concept of a giant mutant space goat coming to destroy the planet seemed a little bit implausible. So they came to the conclusion that perhaps these people saw a perfect opportunity to get rid of a whole useless swath of their fucking population just in one swoop. And this is what AI will probably do. It will get rid of a whole range of useless fucking cunts, man, who have nothing fucking better to do than fucking sit around, push pens, and fucking whatever, and make life fucking difficult for the fucking rest of us, right? So, and look who has arrived. It's our old buddy Spanish has arrived. He's going to give me hell now for taking the piss out of him. But,
How you doing, Jimmy?
oh, great, man. How you doing, Spanish bro?
Yeah, I'm 9 beers in now.
9.
Is it?
I'm very far behind, bro. Very far behind.
Hey, it's rehydration. It was a freaking hot day, and I worked me bollocks off, so I'm just rehydrating.
Good, man. Yeah. It has to be done, bro. It has to be done.
Of course it does. Yeah.
Yeah. So come here. I know you're dying. Give me your interpretation of what's going on with Bogosian. I'd love to hear it, man, because can't make any fucking sense of it, man.
Well, I'm a bit like you because you was always kind of like, oh, this could be a conspiracy thing. I'm talking weeks ago or months ago, and now all this stuff's sort of blown up, and I'm thinking, is this a big drama thing? Is this something? It's you might think, oh, Russians are fighting Russians and all this stuff. It could be a big fucking play. We don't know.
Yeah, yeah. It's a load. It is a play. It's a play. Well, I'll tell you what. If there was a real insurrection, Prigozhin would be fucking. His head would be on the block right fucking now. He wouldn't be going back to the camps, or he wouldn't be going to Belarus. He'd be in prison right fucking now, and he'd be fucking getting shot in the morning.
Yeah.
You know, the life of a fucking military commander in Russia is they don't last long. They don't last long. I don't know how many stories I've covered this year, like of high-profile people who accidentally tripped and fell out windows. An awful
Yeah,
lot.
there's plenty of that, yeah. Accidentally suicided,
Yeah,
Clintonized, whatever you want to call it.
yeah. I mean, it's hardly unique to Russia. Like it happens in there's a lot of it going on in America as well too. Like, but Russia's hardly unique. Like, but still, like the life of a military commander in Russia is it's not worth much, man. Not worth
I
much.
think it's one of those things, Jimmy. What you got to do is you got to say, fuck that, put it away for 2 days, come back and see what's happening then. That's how fast all this. My phone, because I'm sub to your news feed and that, it's pinging all the time. I'm thinking, what the fuck? I'm trying to do a bit of ground. Ping, 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 ping. It's fucking Jimmy. He's sending all these messages out. I'm thinking, hang on a minute. I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll just fuck off for a couple of days. I'll come
Yeah.
back and see what's actually happening. Because the news can be, it's just, we had no news about Russia for 2 days because his fucking plastic submarine was going on. And that's all you heard. It was all over the fucking news.
Yeah, yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
That's
Sometimes you
another
put it
dilemma.
down, go do a bit of gardening, come back in a couple of days' time, let's see what's happening.
Yeah, that's submarine thing was fucking weird. But like before we go, I've got a couple of little bits about that submarine to cover as well, still too. But very very interesting story. But the where were we? Yeah, the pinging. My news feed doesn't ping that much normally, but it was just crazy the last 2 days. Normally I do refrain from pinging too much because normally I only put out about 2, maximum 3 stories each day, and sometimes there'd be a day when there wouldn't be a story, but I never usually go above 3. But the last 2 days have been pretty fucking weird. There's been too much going on, so it deserved extra posting.
You was orgasmatizing. Your pings was going off all the fucking time.
There was just so much like, but I do find the pings useful because it's not only to alert people like you. That's my record of what's going on, like, you know, because I kind of use it as my data bank because sometimes just there's things that I don't want to research straight away, but I want to make a record of it because I want to come back to that, like, and I'll have it on the feed anyway, right? So it's recorded, and I'll know how to get back to it. That's what I use the feed for. It's not generally to inform people, like, you know. I didn't set that channel up just to be.
Do you ever get away yourself, Jim? Do you ever get away yourself and just say, "Fuck that! I'm not doing anything at all," and just fuck off and do a bit of gardening and stuff?
Oh, I do that. Yeah, I do that. There's times I just have to turn away from it, and pass no heed on it. I have to do that. You know, you have to do that for sanity's sake. I don't be able for that sort of shit all the fucking time. You know, it's so it's important to have something else to do. You know, Spanish. You know.
Rob won't forgive me if I don't mention your cats and how your cat's doing.
The cunt, man. She's still fucking falling, right? And she still thinks she's a fucking bird. She's still perched up on that little fucking ledge, man. And she sleeps up there. And every fucking 20 minutes she'll fall. It's like, what the fuck? But she's in good form, like, she's lively. She's in good form. She stopped scratching her head, right? So I mean, that's progress, right? She was constantly scratching her fucking head. That stopped. So that tells me that the infection must be cleared up, right? So, but she's still not right. Balance is not right still. For some reason, the balance, like, I mean, at nighttime, when I fuck her outside to go to the toilet, right? And you plunk her down on the top step, right, outside the door here, and she'll fall down the step. She's grand if what I've started to do lately is, okay, I'm going to walk you out and gently lay you on the ground rather than plunk you on the fucking step because she keeps falling. Okay, right. So you're not right just yet, but she's getting there, I think. Thanks
How's your
for
weather?
asking. Though.
Yeah, how's your weather been, Jimmy? It's been brilliant over here.
Piss and rain, man. Piss and fucking rain. Monsoon conditions, right?
Are you
Monsoon.
sure? Are we on the same fucking planet?
Um, yeah, we are. And
Fucking hell.
monsoon here. It's like the amount of water that's getting dumped is just ridiculous, man. Ridiculous. I've never seen the likes of it before.
See, we had the yellow warning alert, and it was like sunny or something. When's this fucking rain gonna come? And all the grass is dying, and no rain, no fucking rain at all. We had a couple of big splats for about five minutes, and that was it.
Okay, yeah. No, we've had torrential downpours here now this last week, but we were like you. It sounds to me that we were like you were a week ago, right? And for longer, like we've had weeks and weeks of constant dry weather, no rain, nothing until this week gone past. So that rain was needed. It was definitely needed because like the grass was dying, basically. You know. It was like Did we lose Spanish or what's the
No, it's
story?
still there.
Oh, that's grand. No, that's grand. I'll tell you what. Did you see that video that was going around of what probably happened to the sub? Right? Did you see that video of the implosion?
Well, that's when you say a video of it. It wasn't a video of the implosion. It's obviously
A rendition.
what it's going to be in a millisecond. Pop, gone.
Yeah, but they would have had an idea that there was something fucking wrong, wouldn't they?
They would have done when they got in it and realised that the fucking lights come from a camper shop, and you could get you could get quite a few parts from these fucking DIY stores. I watched quite a few videos of different people. I watched a video of a guy that actually he's a bit of a British explorer type thing, obviously rich guy, millionaire, and he said, yes, I signed up in 2019, and when I first saw it, I thought, not quite sure about this. Fucking joke, really, isn't it? I mean, I know it went down a lot of times, but the stress testing, the way proper engineering is done, stress testing. Okay, that's far too slow.
Oh shit! You imagine being in there. Hold on, see if we can slow it down a bit. Oh, it's no, I shouldn't be laughing like, but
The thing is, the thing is, Jimmy, a sphere, a titanium sphere, is far stronger than two tropospherical caps at the end, because the two tropospherical caps makes the sphere. A ball is stronger, right? So if you went down the ball, it's tight all the way around. They went down in a cylinder with a cap on each end. Now you want to bond that cap to the plastic or whatever you want to call it. It's obviously carbon fiber, but you need to bond that to the titanium cap. And I know it went down a couple of times successfully, but you've got to think, hang on a minute, you're thinking outside the box. You're going down in a tube. Submarines don't go down that deep. They're tubes. So this guy thought, I can use a tube and go down that far. And it worked a couple of times. But carbon fiber is totally different to titanium, steel, iron, whatever metal.
But it was a composite though of carbon fiber and something else, wasn't it? It's not. It wasn't using a traditional building method like where you use straight steel and ceramic. I was listening to that guy who who sort of like he created the film. Was it Titanic or something like that? And he was also involved in the building of the first sub that went down to see the Titanic. And he was given he was given his analysis of
Are you on
the
about Ballard?
Say that again.
Ballard.
Was that him?
He-
Yeah.
He was the guy that discovered the Titanic wreck.
Yeah. This is the guy I'm
Chris
talking about.
Ballard? Can't think of his
He
name.
was talking about the composite material that he was using, like and he was saying that'll never work. That'll never work. You might get away with it a couple of times, like, but the stress that each time you go down, you're causing like micro stresses in the whole fracture. And he was saying like that material won't fucking cut it down there, and it'll eventually fucking fail. And he was right. He was warning about this years ago. He was warning that there was fucking accident waiting to happen.
Well, you got to think, you know, if you got a sphere and it's titanium and it's bonded, it's like an epoxy. It's you have to join the metal to the plastic, so that is like a kind of weak spot.
Okay,
So,
yeah.
Do you understand what I'm saying? So you might have a really strong tube and you might have really strong ends, but you've got to join the tube to the ends. So a ball in itself is the strongest thing that you could send down because it will take the pressure on every directional angle.
Like the way an arch will in a bridge, like, you know.
Yeah, same thing. Same as a castle. That sort of thing. And he's come up with an idea. He's put in camper lights and he's got a what was it? Like a PlayStation controller. Even that, I thought that's kind of funny. But on the outside, he's got external thrusters that give it drive, propulsion, and you think, okay, how do you test those propulsion systems at a depth of that with the pressure of 6,000 pounds per square inch? How do you test that? Now, I know he's gone down a couple of times, and obviously this one fucked up. But you don't know what's fucked up, do you? Because there's no evidence.
Yeah, but he wasn't supposed to go down so far. Like, you know, I think it definitely wasn't ready to go down that far. And from what I've heard, there was no safety. There was no safety documentation for the vessel whatsoever. It was not certified.
It wasn't certified at all in any way.
No,
but it had been down there 3 or 4 times. So it got there and come back up. But who tested any kind of stress fractures or stuff like that? No. Exactly.
I've been learning a lot about this over the last number of days, and apparently, like, what happens is every 5 years, even the fucking Navy subs and stuff like that, they get the Navy submersibles, they get taken apart bolt by bolt every 5 years. And every single fucking bit of it is tested once over. This was never done, I believe, with this.
Well, there was something. I can't remember. I can't reference it. I can't remember it because I've been fucking 9 beers in there. But it was. I think it was 5 inches of carbon fiber, and somebody else said it should be 7 inches of carbon fiber to withstand the pressure. I mean, it's the same as the diving bottle, really, isn't it? It's got top spherical ends. It's a bottle-shaped thing. It's a cylinder. What you normally do, I got some kind of understanding with what I do in my game. I use hoses that are pressure tested to 8,000 psi, but they only run at 4,000 psi.
Right.
But they still fucking blow. They're not blowing at 8,000 psi, but they still blow. So when you get that kind of stuff, you want to put it down, in, out, all the time, extreme pressures. Try and extend. Yeah, exactly. You try and push it to its limits without a person in there.
Yeah, buddy Paddy Casey, who's dead now, he was in a hole over in England, working on the roads, I think, and they were working on something similar, like with high pressure compressors and stuff like that, and the fitting came loose and it fucking ripped his fucking leg to pieces, man. Absolutely destroyed the guts. He was never right again afterwards. Like, you know, he was walking around. he had a metal cage around his fucking leg for donkey's years, man, and he was never fucking right, man. But anyway,
Yeah,
yeah,
that's probably more the whiplash effect of a hose being ripped
yeah,
loose.
exactly, yeah, not quite the same thing as as an implosion under fucking water. I heard described as like when that thing would have collapsed, it would have been like getting squished under the bucket of a hydraulic fucking bucket of a digger, right?
It would be in a millisecond. It would be like your life completely passed before you, but you didn't even know it.
Yeah.
They'd just be gone. Boom, gone. Faster than the speed of sound, faster than a picture could record it. It would just go.
Hard to imagine it that quickly, isn't it? It's really hard to imagine it. It's like, wow.
But it's a good way to go, I suppose, Jim.
Yeah. Imagine
If you're going to go, that's the best way. I mean, the worst case scenario would be that the fucking vehicle actually survived, and they all fucking died of oxygen starvation.
That could have easily happened, like, could easily have happened. Like 5 of them in there, like, and
yeah,
very, very tiny area, like, and you could imagine, like, what it would be like, who they were going to decide it was going to die next to give them that extra fucking hour of fucking oxygen to see if they could get rescued. Like, it would probably end up in some situation like that,
Yeah, sad. Can't understand why
you're a fountain of happy news, Spanish.
Can't understand why the guy that took his son down. That's weird, isn't it? Because he's a billionaire. Yeah. He's a billionaire, and the son is like the heir to the estate. He goes, "Oh yeah, great Father's Day present." Fuck off. I'd have said, "Actually, Dad, I think he's a bit dodgy. If you want to fucking go down, I'm heir to your estate. Carry on, mate. You go down a couple of times, I'll come down on the third one. There's when it's successful." It's fucking mental, isn't it?
Well, Guns of Johnny saying, pretty nice way to go. That boom, gone. Yeah, possibly. I suppose, it's one way to go. But anyway, we are approaching the end of the fucking night here on the live part of the stream. Definitely approaching it. We're at 1 hour, 57 minutes and 3 seconds at the moment. So I might just wrap up the show, Spanish, right? And call it quit. But did you know that there was a team from England wanted to go onto the fucking scene straight away? They had a vehicle which was much more impressive than anything the Americans had to offer, and it had the ability to go down and pull that motherfucker. It had the ability to latch onto it and pull it back up to the fucking surface.
Yeah, I heard that, Jimmy. That was some Guernsey, I think, or Jersey or Guernsey. But they'd have to get a C-130. Yeah. They'd have to get a C-130 in there to airlift it.
They were ready to go. They were ready to go, and the Americans.
Yeah, but ready to go is not ready to go as we know it. They say it like that, but you have to get a C-130 to fly into an airport. You have to get the kit lifted into the plane. You have to fly the plane over there. Then you got to get it to the shore. Then you got to get a boat to get it there.
Right.
They were already dead. They were already dead.
They were. They knew last Sunday that they were already dead, didn't they? They knew on fucking Sunday because they heard it on the fucking underground sensors.
Yeah, there was a seismic event, allegedly, inverted commas.
Yeah, they knew last Sunday, but they let it fucking go on.
At the same time, they lost comms.
Yeah. That's the way it panned out in the end. So they knew all the fucking long, but
I think it's great that people just reach out and say, look, we can try and help you. That's fantastic. Look, with the earthquake stuff and all the guys flying over with the dogs from all over, when you have the earthquakes in Turkey, people from England and America say, we got specialists, we can help you. Get them in there. Brilliant. This is not the same kind of thing. Totally different. You might as well be in space.
Yeah, indeed. So we're down to the we're gonna go over time here. I think. Yeah, no, we got a minute. I got a minute to say goodbye to everybody. I want to say goodbye to everybody on Rumble. I'll say goodbye to everybody on YouTube, and I'm going to say goodbye to everybody over on RacontoursNews.com. The web page is running. It's all set up with all the links that you need to find all our fucking shit. I'll work on the web page in a little bit of time, but if you go over to RacontoursNews.com, or raconteursnews.co.uk. You'll find the site, and we can keep you updated of any fucking changes, of any shit going down from there in the future. So, for the moment, we seem to be back on YouTube. I'm going to be afraid to even check in to see if we survive tonight's stream. You know, it's gone like that here on the fucking tube. So hopefully the show will still be up in about an hour from now. And if not, well, the fucking channel is toast.
Are you staying on? Are you staying on after Jimmy or going?
Oh yeah, we'll stay on afterwards. So what I'll do is
Chuck links in.
I'll chuck the link in yet again, just to remind people you can come on over here, have a chat with the fucking usual suspects if you want, and listen, enjoy the rest of your weekend. Have a good Sunday. Hopefully the weather is going to be fine for you all wherever you are, and I think we're set for a nice warm July by the sounds of it. If all goes well, we've got the heat pressure wave coming up from the south, so we might get a pretty good spell of good weather on the way. So we'll keep our fingers crossed. Hopefully this rain will fuck off for another little while. And I've gone over time, so good night.
Goodbye to anybody that is listening, and hello to anyone that's going to jump on.